So in this tutorial, I'm gonna be explaining how you can structure your app in this age of hooks. Now it doesn't really make sense to use like before we had the presentational, which it was like your stateless or functional components and class component, but now it's kind of like different, like everything has been revolutionized somewhat. So before, a common way was like people would have their components and containers, and the containers would be like the class component, and the components would just be like the presentational components, with like the presentational components, which were like the functional and stateless components. But now with these hooks here, left and right, you can actually have like states and also like life cycle hooks in your stateless. What used to be like stateless functional presentational component. So now with this new hooks, I'm gonna be going through how I plan my apps and my kind of explaining my thought processes, and also the pros and probably the cons of choosing this. So mostly what I do is I have my components, and my components are sort of like anything that is not like the page, like the route. Everything goes here. So for example, yeah, this is just like a shopping item, which are like individual item here. So that could be like a component. This button could be a component. So other stuff could be under this component. But whatever is gonna be like the main page, for example here, this is like the home page where you have all the items. So this I put, and if you go to checkout items, let's add something here. If you go to checkout items, let's add one more. So this is another route. I would consider this also to be page that can use like different components from this component folder. And here, if you come here, you have these pages. So for example, we have the checkout page here, and we also have the shopping cart page. So if we go here, this, and the advantage to this is that when you're dealing with route and everything, it's much easier to locate where everything is. So if I go to my shopping cart page, you can see here I'm linking to this checkout, so you can sort of know this is where all your routing is mostly happening on the higher level, and which is a good thing. And if you're gonna have any kind of like other components that are like closely related to this page and not related to others, you can put them close to this. And what next? I also have my custom hooks folder. So if I'm creating some custom hooks, they're gonna go here. You can as well put this under your utils, like utility functions, but I decided to put them separately because these are mainly just like React stuff, and it's just easier to see those things. So I also have my route, and my route just takes care of all the routing. So if you're gonna have like 20 routes or what have you, you can take care of them here. And also, if you're gonna be doing some custom protect route protection, you can also put it close to this route and just use it here. I showed an example of that in one of my videos. Auto log out or something. So that's the route takes care of all this, and you have all your components here. So these are like the pages. You have each page here, and you know you're gonna be getting all these from this pages folder, which is a good thing. Then again, you have your utils. If you're having some kind of like utility functions that you're creating, you can bring them here. Then let's talk about the store. I like to group my stores based on the reducers. Some people do like they group based on actions, action creators, reducers, and stuff like that. But the problem with that approach is it can be a little bit frustrating. Imagine if I have my action folder, reducer folder, and I have various reducers here, various actions here, then it becomes quite painful to navigate, because when you're working on a reducer, you are most likely navigating through these three. You want to come to the type, create a type definition. You want to go to the action, have your action creator. You want to come to the reducer, then do some stuff like so. These are like actions that are like in tandem. You do them at about the same time. So, so having them in a separate folder might not be a good thing. So like here I have the cart. I could have like counter, then other counter I'm gonna have like actions, reducers, and types also. Then here I have my root reducer. So the root reducer just basically takes all the reducers. In this case we have the cart reducer. If you have any kind of like reducer, you just add it here. Then you can just infer the app state from the root reducer, which you can use anywhere. I find this to be also good because it's closer to all my reducers and I just know everything is in the place, and it's not I don't have to be like juggling around different folders. So basically I come to my app, and yeah, you can see like basically this is where all my routes are like subsumed. So this wraps my routes which I created separately. Some people prefer to have their routes in the app component. I just prefer to have them separately in a different folder. It's easier for me to find and just do some other stuff without like bloating the app component. Then when I come to my index, which is like the topmost, you can see basically this is where I'm connecting my Redux store to the app, and everything is just like much easier to reason with. It's easier to manage your code base as it grows. So that's that. And of course, when you're working on your components, i I would have the tests close to each component also. So for example, I could have the shopping item dot test dot ts or what have you. Then if I'm doing some kind of like end-to-end test, I would create another folder, just name that sorry, I would create another folder and just name that like end-to-end or something like that. So that's just basically it. So for example, you come here, you're gonna see this is my style sheet, this is my component, and you're gonna see the test. So the whole point of this kind of like architecture or what have you is just to keep related things closer. When you keep related things closer, you know when you're changing this is also likely to change. It just makes your life a little bit like easier. And that's it. That's about it for this video. In the next video I'm gonna be also explaining how I use TypeScript with Redux and React, and also especially with these new Redux hooks. And I'm also going to be explaining for the React router also how I use like hooks for React router and why. Again, thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.